Every once in a while, there's a player who finally gets over the hump and wins a title, and you think, this is it now. This guy is going to win a few titles now he's got the first win. But things don't always turn out how we expect. I want to focus on a particular player who works incredibly hard, beat the best bowlers in the world, and managed to win a major event. However, the mystery is, why was this the only title that this player ever won? This bowler's name is Bryon Smith, and it was 2003 at the ABC Masters. For those of you who may not know, the ABC Masters was the original name of the usbc Masters until it was changed in 2005, and this is a major title on the PBA Tour. Bryon came in as the 1 seed, and I'm sure there were many viewers at the time who probably had not come across him before, but he had one very valuable quality that really did help him in this title match. But before we get to that, let's just look at who he ended up facing and how they got there. In match 1, it was the clash of two legends, Norm Duke and Walter Ray Williams Jr. Both players started with a double, and just look at Norm's second shot here. He completely slips, but somehow still gets the ball on line for a strike. However, the next shot he goes high, leaving the 3-pin, and this was just a result of him slipping on the previous shot and just being a little bit conscious of his footwork. Walter was very unlucky not to make it 3 in a row after the pins flew around the 7-pin, but it would not fall. And his next shot is light, and it looked like he pushed it out just a touch more, and it just didn't hook, and he left the bucket. Both players throw 2 strikes each, and then Walter got a great break in the 7th frame, tripping the 2 for 3 in a row. He then took this great break and turned it into 4 in a row for a 17-pin lead. Norm did what Norm does and fought hard, throwing 2 more strikes to take a 3-pin lead. However, Walter was absolutely clutch, striking out to shut out Duke and moved on to match 2. He would now face Jason Williams, who was an amateur at the time, and a win from Jason would have meant that amateurs would have won the Masters in back-to-back years. It's a pretty shaky start from Jason Williams, as he went Brooklyn on shot 1, he then missed the headpin completely in frame 2, and then went Brooklyn again on his 3rd shot. Meanwhile, Walter went double, 9 spare and strike. Jason made a ball change and went right, trying to play a straighter shot, but the ball didn't hook at all and he missed the headpin, leaving the 1-2-6-10 for an open frame. Suddenly he's down by 30 pins, but does make a nice shot on the left lane, which I'm sure made him feel a little bit better at this point. I wonder if the 2 lanes are different, because the left lane really seemed to hook in comparison to his previous 2 shots on the right. Walter was just stamping his authority all over the match, kicking the 10-pin out and then following it up with another great shot for 3 in a row. Jason just doesn't look too good on the right lane, and this match has quickly slipped away. Walter did leave a pretty dirty 8-pin, but it wouldn't make any difference, and he would advance to the title match to face Bryon Smith. So Bryon Smith is a name that some of you may not be too familiar with. At this point in his career, he had been on tour for 9 years, but had yet to win a PBA title. We can see from his first shot that this guy can bowl, and I really like how smooth his style is. But this will be a huge test for him, as not only is he trying to win his first title, but this is a major event, and he's going up against arguably the best to ever play the game. Bryon starts with a double, which definitely helps settle the nerves, and these were 2 pretty perfect shots. Walter also has an opening double, although his shots were a lot messier, and on the second shot he went high, but got away with it, tripping the 4-pin. He then threw a much better shot to make it 3 in a row. Smith responds incredibly well, throwing 2 more excellent shots for an opening 4-bagger. And it's his demeanour that's quite incredible, because he just seems to be so calm. I'm sure he was probably feeling it on the inside, but on the exterior he appears to be very calm but focused. Walter's next shot was slightly wider and hit very light, leaving a 4-pin, and he wasn't happy with this shot at all, and he said that he didn't seem to feel he got it out to the right part of the lane. He spared it, however, and followed it up with a strike. Smith made it 5 in a row, and he's looking like a seasoned pro with 20 titles out there. His 6th frame is definitely his worst shot so far, however, as he misses way inside, and it looks like he's going to leave the 6-7 until the 7-pin falls and then somehow trips the 6-pin. This was a huge break, as a split here would have let Walter right back into the match. Walter struck, but then on the left lane went through the nose, and you can hear him say that he grabbed it and it was definitely inside his mark. But this is the difference when it comes to these head-to-head matches. One player misses inside but gets away with it, managing to avoid a split, and then the other player doesn't get the same lucky break and pays the price with an open frame. Now Smith has a commanding 39 pin lead, but he can't make it 7 in a row, and the ball goes through the nose once again, but he avoids a split, just leaving the 6 pin. And these two shots could have been very, very different, and then perhaps we would have had a very different match and outcome, but he did make a much better shot in the 8th, coming away with a strike. Walter can't set up a comeback with 2 spares in a row, and now Smith just needs to mark in the 9th frame for the title, which he manages to do with a 9 spare, and then just keeps it on the lane in the 10th frame to take home his first ever title, the ABC Masters. What I love most about this performance is how calm he was even after he won the title. He had the perfect demeanour in my opinion, and he couldn't have handled the whole occasion better in my opinion. Okay, he did get away with a couple of shots, but aside from that, he looked extremely comfortable out there. When you watch this telecast, you really do think, how on earth did this guy not win again on tour? This is still his only title to date, and given his performance against Walter, it's shocking to me that he hasn't been able to win again. He did make the telecast at the 2012 Masters as the number 5 seed and won his first match, but fell in match 2 to the eventual winner, Mike Fagan. As for Walter Ray, the disappointment of losing the title match at the 2003 Masters didn't last too long, as he actually won the following year. But overall, this was an incredibly impressive performance from Smith, and it's just a shame that he wasn't able to win again on tour. Because in my mind, not only did he have a very, very nice and smooth physical game, but it was his mental game that really, really impressed me. And so that is going to bring us to an end of today's video. A little bit of a classic throwback now, all the way back in 2023, so 20 years ago now. But a enjoyable match in the title match, and I even enjoyed the first match, Norm Duke versus Walter Ray. That almost felt like a bit of a title match to begin with too. But I hope you enjoyed these breakdowns of these classic PBA matches. If there's any match in particular that you would like me to analyse and break down that I haven't done so already, just let me know in the comment section below which match you'd like me to talk about. And I'd just like to thank you once again for watching this video. If you've yet to subscribe, I'd really appreciate it if you could click the subscribe button below. Thank you, bowling fans, and see you all next time.